Welcome to those just tuning in. Here's what's on the conservation radar in Belize. Belize, you know, that tiny, unique Central American country that is teeming with critical ecosystems that run from the Mayan Mountain Corridor Range to the Mesoamerican Reef. Belize was trying to balance environment and economic development in order to compete with the Western societies. Hot top of the press, Belize news reports focus on various arising conservation issues that clash with the process of development. Here we present 3 diverse issues that have been on the radar.
The Belize government, specifically the Ministry of Energy, is considering drafting new regulations to allow 99% of Belize's territorial waters to be made available for oil and gas exploration. Although Belize banned any drilling for fear of safety and environmental concerns in 2013, that ruling only came after the Deepwater Horizon oil spill in the northern Gulf area. The ruling judge at that time, who banned the contracts, also stated that there was a lack of experience by local drilling companies whose backgrounds were actually in hotel and resort development. If offshore drilling were to occur, there is concern that Belize's Great Barrier Reef, which includes 7 UNESCO World Heritage Sites and 8 marine protected areas, could be threatened as trade winds from the east would push any pollutants inland. The smallest of oil spills could have devastating environmental impacts, turning current coral reefs and happy fish communities into quickly degraded ecosystems. Environmental organizations such as the Environmental Defense Fund and Oceana have expressed how exploration and/or drilling could impact coastal communities, their livelihoods, commercial fisheries, as well as the tourism industry. Tourism and fishing accounts for a large percentage of Belize's annual gross domestic product. Oceana, who surveyed 30,000 Belizeans in 2012, reported that 95% of the respondents were against offshore drilling. Local efforts have even started a Facebook page titled No to Offshore Oil Drilling in Belize, but it is unclear how future rulings by the government will turn out.
Another opportunity to provide economic growth to the country is in the form of tourism development. Tourism contributes 37% to the GDP, directly supporting 17,000 jobs. Belize has the potential to wow its visitors, with nearly 26% of its terrestrial and marine areas protected. However, just not any tourism should be welcome. In 2011, the Ministry of Tourism laid forth a vision for sustainable tourism development, acknowledging that tourism was one of the country's top priorities. Sustainable tourism, they said, should be low impact and high value. That idea did not last long, however. Breaking news 2013, the Minister of Tourism signed a memorandum of understanding with Norwegian Cruise Lines, and now Harvest Cay in the south is being dredged and converted into a southern cruise ship port. Bringing a different breed of tourism to the south, we'll call them cruisers, can create a challenge for conservation and community development. Tourism is not just all rest and relaxation. Oftentimes benefits are unevenly distributed, staying within the hands of a very few. Meanwhile, the powerless are left to deal with the impact of hosting foreigners on their lands. Some impacts of tourism include permanent environmental restructuring with the construction of facilities and infrastructure, habitat degradation through deforestation, erosion, and sedimentation, increased pollution, and increased resource consumption. In addition, tourist activities also contribute to the degradation of the environment. Walking and trekking in large numbers that exceed the carrying capacity of the area or damaging coral reefs while snorkeling or boating can occur oftentimes unintentionally. Who decides what kind of tourism development will be permitted? Well, the government, of course. They've already made the decision, and not everyone is happy with it. Civil society organizations such as the Belize Tourism Industry Association and Yache Conservation Trust are trying to do something about it, but ultimately the national government, influenced by the monetary power of the International Cruise Line, is calling the shots in this game.
And finally, a matter that is not unique to this country, Belize is struggling with the complicated issue of deforestation. Due to the expansion of agriculture, development, and demand for timber resources, deforestation rates have been increasing. This issue is largely in the central corridor of Belize, a critical habitat that is one of the last intact connections between the Mayan Mountain Corridor Range and the Mesoamerican Barrier Reef. An analysis done by NASA Landsat Imagery shows that forest cover has declined from 62.7% to 61.6% in the past 2 years. This is a loss of 25,300 hectares of forest. Deforestation loss is an important issue because of its rippling effects, eventually exacerbating issues such as deterioration of water and soil quality, reef habitat degradation, loss of biodiversity, climate change, and potential declines in tourism. The satellite image displays a shocking reality of the extent to which land can be deforested if not managed properly. Although Belize still has the most intact forested systems in Central America, the Belizean government has realized the negative chain of effects due to deforestation and has worked to conserve forests through protected areas legislation. The Belizean government, specifically the Forest Department, has the responsibility to manage the protection of these areas. For example, in 2012, Forest Minister Lisel Amia launched an initiative called the Sabo Chico Protocol to protect the Chiquibil forest. Through this piece of legislation, rangers of the Friends of Conservation and Development will now patrol the forest along with personnel from the Forest Department and the Belize Defense Force. So far, this initiative has successfully decreased illegal logging and resource extraction in the southern region of the Chiquibil forest. Another important force in addressing deforestation in Belize has been local civil society organizations. For example, Yashe Conservation Trust is currently developing a GIS tool to help understand the areas and reasons behind deforestation to aid in recommendations for decision-making bodies. Let this stark boundary line be a reminder to the people of Belize the importance of proper land management to mitigate deforestation and its lasting effects.